I'd like to call to order the Torch Lake Township regular board meeting of May 16th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Sharon, lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Board, I just got a text from Is Kids Day in concert tonight? Seniors are getting
Yep.
recognized tonight, so
All right.
he's at school.
All right. And we haven't heard from Alan, so we have no idea. All right. We'll have two opportunities for citizen comments tonight. I'll be requesting that people stay with the 4 minutes for both of those sections and would appreciate everyone keeping their points concise. I would request that comments are made respectfully to the board. We're here to discuss the township's business. Citizens' comments should pertain to specific issues, concerns, or policies they would like to bring to the board's attention. And with that, our first item is the approval of the regular board meeting minutes of April 25th, 2023. Any changes or comments? I have none. Yes, sure.
Name spelling is wrong. So down on H, board comment, there are 3 Allens, A-L-L-A-N, 3 times in that, and it should be A-L-L-E-N, Allen with an E, Davidson.
All right,
First line, second line, fourth line.
got it. Anything else?
That's the only thing I have.
All right, Kathy? All right, then I will make the motion to approve the April 25th, 2023 regular board meeting minutes with changes. Is there a second?
I will second those.
All right, thank you. It is moved and seconded to approve the regular board meeting of April 25th, 2023 minutes with changes. Any further discussion regarding the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
So that's 3
All right.
to 0.
Kathy, correspondence?
3 to 2.
3-2 absent,
Yeah, 2 absent.
But the vote was 3-0.
with 2 absent.
Absent.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
I got a letter from Antrim County Administration today. They are looking for committee vacancies to fill them. They're looking for interest notices for 1 position on the Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors. It's a partial term. It will expire December 31st, 2028. If you're interested, you should submit a notice of interest. You can find that form on the county website. No later than May 31st. Antrim County residents will be given preference for this appointment. And the announcement will be made June 15th, meeting of the Antrim County Board of Commissioners. Please share this with your local officials and residents. And that's it for announcements.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Moving on to the next agenda item, approval agenda. Any changes to the agenda board?
We can't change it with only
Oh.
3 of us here anyway.
Well, we can't add anything.
Right.
But if there's something on there that's incorrect, we can approach that.
I have,
Hearing none, I make the motion that the agenda be accepted as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. It is moved and seconded that the agenda is accepted as presented. Any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Citizen comments? Anyone besides Jairus? Nobody. 4 minutes, Jairus. We're on a record pace here.
59, 58, 57.
I think it's, yep, it's on. I don't know, Bob, did you share the equalization numbers that I sent you last month or not?
Yep, we
Okay.
did.
Banks Township and Central Lake Township are both going in together. They're going to redo Rushton Road this year. It's going to be about $1 million total. Central Lake's doing from the village of Central Lake to Banks Township line, and Banks Township is doing from Banks Township line to the village of Ellsworth line, repaving Rushton Road. The county set the tax rates at the last meeting. I hope you got lots of extra cash because we raised taxes by over $1 million. Raised the general fund mills from 5.05 to 5.27. COA was raised. So last year, the total countywide millage was 7, and this year it's going to be about 7.4. I was not in favor of that because all of our county fund balances are in good shape right now. We are in the midst of building facade update, and it looks like that's going to cost us a little more than we anticipated, like everything else we do now. But we had planned to spend our ARPA money on that, which was $4.5 million, and looks like for our agenda this week, the total from the bids that we got in is 4.9. So
That was for the sheriff, the new sheriff, or the
Well,
No, the building
the siding on the county building,
county building?
the
facade.
yep, the
Okay.
public safety center, the jail. If that goes forward, it will be put to the voters to see if they want to approve it or disapprove it.
Okay,
And the last estimate we got was $28 million for about 54 beds, which is about what we have now.
Hmm.
And I asked about the numbers on that because ever since I've been a commissioner, the average number of people we've had in jail has been about 25, which I mean, I've been there 3 years, so it's, I haven't been there that long. They've looked at 10 years of data. But ever since COVID, we've had less people in jail. So, and our jail isn't the only one that shows that. So I guess it's just common sense that if you lower your number of beds down, it's a lot cheaper. So Alpena County, they built a new jail 2 years ago. They built it how they told them to build it for 100 beds, and they've never been over like 52 since they've built it. So I really think in the interest of cost and efficiency, we probably need to relook at those numbers, but that's just my opinion.
All right, thank you. Any other citizen comment? If not, we'll move on then to consent agenda. Anyone wish to pull any of the reports?
I do not.
nor do I.
All right, then by consensus, all reports of the consent agenda are hereby accepted. Special reports. Planning Commission, Jason is not here. I can give you a quick update that the board voted, I believe it was 4-2, to move forward with the rewrite as a lump sum. And Andy is going to drive that. Sarah is going to make presentations to the Planning Commission that indicates what was changed from the prior and why it was changed. And that was how they're going to proceed. So they are hopeful. Andy's hopeful that maybe sometime by October or November, they'll be able to present to the board and to the county a rewritten zoning ordinance. There's a lot to do, but the members seemed enthusiastic getting
And there'll
moving
be
forward.
Public hearings in there, right?
There's going to be public hearings, special meetings, and public hearings within the regular Planning Commission meetings. There's 14 chapters. They've finished one half of one chapter, which is the signs. So they've got a lot of work, but they're certainly willing to tackle it in in full. And so that's the Planning Commission FOIA update. Kathy?
Yes, sir. I reported last month that I had received 2 new FOIA requests. One of them has been fulfilled, and I have not heard anything else from that requester. The second one, I sent out the billing, the fees that will be required, and I have not yet heard back. I assume they're going to accept the fees because they were very low. So that one is almost also complete. So no FOIAs right now to report about.
Great, thank you. Financial overview. I put together a new report. I decided to try to come up with a way that I could express both the operating performance of each of the funds and a cash flow balance and the change in cash. On the left-hand side, I will then put in some comments regarding the performance for any major variances. Right now, for April, we were pretty close to budget. We were 11,000 to the bad. The cash balance was only down 5,000, and we had a nice gain in our interest income again. I think it was close to $5,000 in April.
Not quite.
Close.
Close.
I
but
said
not quite.
close.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Close
my
is close.
report for the finance.
I noticed it being a little different when we got it emailed to us too. I had to study it a little bit more.
Well, hopefully it helps the public have a better idea. All right, moving on. There's no old business for us to discuss. We have 3 items that will be presented tonight for new business. 2 will require a vote. 1 is for information only. The first one is our VC3 contract. We had a discussion last meeting about this. There is a 90-day termination clause for this. We're going to have to go with them as our contract ended March 31st. They gave us the leeway of 2 months. So we're at that point that we're going to need to sign it because we can't go without the services required for our IT.
And
So,
you've highlighted that number 13 in there for terms and
yep,
termination.
yep.
Do you need a motion then, or you gonna-
I've got a motion I've written up, so I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to approve the 3-year contract with VC3 for the 3 years effective June 1st, 2023, at the contract rates of year 1 of $6,655, year 2, $9,583, and year 3, $13,440, and including a 90-day cancellation period. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thanks,
I
Sharon.
was gonna,
I was waiting.
That's all right.
with regret, I guess, but,
Well, it is.
It says 90-day period there.
right.
and discussion on the motion is pretty clear. The rates are quite high, but they have performed very well for us in the
Yeah.
past. So I will continue to try to negotiate a lower rate.
I do have a financial question. I just paid them for March,
Right.
and this doesn't take effect until June. So do I assume that they'll bill us for April and May separately?
My understanding was they were going to continue at the old rate. Now, if not, then we'll go back, but I think
Yeah,
they were going to continue the rate under the old contract.
because that was only like 300 and, I don't know, it's in our thing here,
I
300
think you
and
were billed,
600.
Monthly.
They gave me 2 different bills. One was for an annual,
right?
and one was for just the month of March. The one I paid was the month of March, knowing we were going to be discussing this.
All right, well, I'll work with them.
Okay, I just want to make sure
Yep.
we stay on time with our payments to them, so.
All right, any other
Okay.
discussion? If not, then Kathy, a roll call vote, please.
Absolutely. Ms. Schultz,
Yes.
Myself will vote yes, and Mr. Cook.
Yes.
So that motion is approved, 3-0,
All right.
effective June 1st.
So are you signing this and sending it off to him?
I will sign it, send it off to them with that date. And if there's a problem, I'll come back to the board.
Okay.
Okay, so that's this. Okay.
Yep. Second item is Sharon brought this to my attention, and she has already gotten the fire department engaged on this. And Sharon, if you want to talk a little bit about it, that's fine.
Yes, I kind of had a heads up being on the MTA board, but, which was to my advantage, our advantage. But anyway, there's, in your board packets, and I'm not sure what you printed out for anybody in the audience.
Yeah, they will have the introduction to it, what the main points are. I didn't give them all the application.
Because I don't know what I wanted to read as an intro, just basically the intro
Yep.
for the public here. Michigan Fire Equipment Grant Program has been established to provide funding for the purchase of fire equipment for our part-time on-call volunteer firefighters. Under the fiscal year budget of 2022-23, the Michigan Department of Treasury was appropriated $12 million to establish and operate a grant program to qualified local governments. Grant awards are not to exceed $10,000 for eligible departments. There was a question and answer period in there, and it was produced and put to the public on the 15th of this month. So as a board member, I did look in the Department of Treasury that they cited here, and my highlights did show that there was an appropriation amounts for that, and they had adhered to their budgeting practice of commitment. So with that, it's pretty much under the leadership of the township officials and not the department fire chiefs that have to do the application and send it in. But with their help of getting to know what exactly we need, that will be what I would like to do this grant. And so with that, I'm asking the board's permission to approve me of submitting a grant to the Michigan Department of Equipment Grant Program.
Kathy, any questions?
I don't have a question other than the word pursue versus, what was your word? You would like to do it,
Yes.
period.
Well, I'd be one of the 5 board members. So
So I will make the motion and then clarify the
Okay.
motion.
I would like,
You want to make the motion?
I will make the motion,
All right.
or we have that motion on here. It's just very simple. You can go
Right.
ahead because
I'll make the motion for the treasurer to pursue a Michigan Fire Equipment Grant as soon as possible. Is there a second?
I can second that.
All right, motion has been moved and seconded for the treasurer to pursue a Michigan Fire Equipment Grant as soon as possible. Discussion on the motion, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
So who will do the writing?
Me.
Sharon?
Sharon Mullen, she'll work in conjunction with the fire department to understand what the list is. And she will then make the application in the name of the township.
Perfect.
just for informational, we won't know until October 31st whether or not we'll get it. So there's no updates. This is the time right now for the submission applications, but the final no later qualified units will be notified no later than October 31st.
So don't hold your breath.
Yeah, well,
And this is in Michigan.
this is Michigan, yeah.
All right. Last item, this is a non-board item, and I will allow Sharon to take the lead on this.
Every year, we try to honor our fire departments and our ambulance departments, and they have EMS week and they have fire department weeks. And so this time, I would like, at this board meeting of 5/16, make the announcement that the township board of Trustees wishes to recognize the 49th Annual National EMS Week of May 21st through the 27th, 2023. The theme this year is EMS, where emergency care begins. This board and the entire community of Torch Lake Township acknowledges our first-class ambulance EMS team for their outstanding and dedicated service for its citizens. Our sincere appreciation and best wishes for their constant safety and good health for the upcoming year.
And we applaud them.
Yes, we do.
I have this, I have this announcement that I just read, and I will put it on each of their lockers in the back room tonight or tomorrow.
And Mike will extend our appreciation to your team. All right, that concludes new business. Moving on to board discussion.
I just lost my agenda here.
Unfortunately, without the other two board members here, I will keep this kind of short for us, but I attached to the packages a summary of what took place a week ago. Well, not quite a week, last Thursday, over at Central Lake Village. And we had Brian Graham, the attorney for Central Lake Village, there to help guide us in our decision-making. And basically, the original discussion that I had brought to the board, which was for us to share in the cost of an officer for which we would be allocated a certain number of hours. That is not possible. It's legally, it's illegal for us or for the Central Lake police officer to come into our township to enforce any of our ordinances. So Brian brought that good news. So at that point, it was a brand new meeting. How could we do it? The only two ways is for us to engage the sheriff department and basically provide financing to them to provide us that service. According to Brian, that probably will not be well received because the sheriff department doesn't have an overabundance of employees. So, but it's still a discussion that I will have at some point. The second one is to follow the example of Ellsworth, which is to set up a police department within the community, the township, and basically outsource the employment to, in essence, we would hire an individual that would be working full-time at another location, either with Central Lake or with sheriff department or whatever. I've looked into what it takes to create a police department. There's a lot of administrative work. The key ingredients is a police car, a gun, and the ammunition and uniforms. After that, I'm sure there's administrative things and insurance. I don't know all the facts. I've left a message for Ellsworth to get back to me and fill me in on how they do theirs. They've been doing it, I guess, for a number of years. And I guess it's somebody out of Charlevoix that they use on a 10-hour basis, 10-hour-a-week basis. Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt you, but you mentioned Ellsworth and you used the word township in there. So there's Ellsworth Village and Banks Township. So we want to make sure they're separated.
It would be the village.
Okay.
That's fine. But I understand Banks might be interested in obtaining some additional hours. But I don't know all those answers.
Okay.
So right now it's kind of up in the air until I see what all the requirements are. we certainly had at the public meeting, which was over a year ago, the sentiment seemed to be that if we could partner with somebody, that would be better than our having to set up a whole new police department. That process is not going to work unless we partner with the sheriff department. The other folks, we can't leverage their equipment or their officers.
So I'm misunderstanding then. So we're not talking to Ellsworth about cooperating with
Right.
them, just getting information on
Right.
how it all works. Got
Right,
it?
but you could have a cooperation as a, for instance, with Central Lake. If we were to become a police department, we could then rent the Central Lake police car. We'd still have to have the gun, the normal requirements, and we would have to, based on the application I saw, we were going to have at least someone in mind that was going to be the officer that would meet all the requirements. So it's not something that happens overnight. We've had a couple of incidents in the township recently. And I was hoping the sheriff would be here to go through the report. I'll leave that for him to discuss. And so there may be something to it. In my mind, the critical thing is the enforcement at the day park and the nature preserve. And I'll cover some on the nature preserve in my board comments. So that's all I have at this point.
I know the sheriff's department just brought on 2 brand new deputies that just finished all their credentials and they're on the job now. So,
Well, my understanding from Brian is that the attorney is that, and Scott, who was the officer over there at Central Lake as well, that basically if we leverage the sheriff department, he is still number one, a sheriff deputy. So if he has a call, he's going to leave us and attend to the sheriff business first. That may be a major thing. It might be a minor inconvenience. I don't know. But there's more to do, and I'm going to continue to follow through on that. That's all I have for board discussion, unless you folks have something you want to add.
no, thank you.
All right. So we have no informational purpose only items tonight. Citizen comment. I won't forget you this time.
I just want to say thank you for recognizing our emergency services folks. They've done a lot of work this year to maintain their skills, and they've done a great job. And then I keep monitoring their calls and critiquing them. And so I thank you very, very, very much. Appreciate it.
Staffing is still good.
Yeah, we're just finishing up in the back of the orientation, and we should have the 2 on the road here in the next month. A baby delayed one, and the other one will be on here shortly.
Good.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. All right. Board comment. Sharon, we'll start with you.
I have none other than a reminder again that the Petoskey Stone Festival is May 27th here at Barnes Park. And that's about all I have.
All right. Kathy.
Well, along those lines, at the Petoskey Stone Festival this year, our very own Miss Sharon Schultz is going to be recognized and receive an award. What's the right word to use?
The Betty Dinger Award.
Betty Dinger Award. Dinger Rocks.
Yeah.
So anybody that has the opportunity, I think it's at 3:00 on that Saturday. So if you're out and about, stop by and be able to applaud Miss Schultz for her
Thank you.
recognition.
That's great.
I get to wear the Petoskey crown for a year.
Oh, I bet it's heavy.
You know,
It is.
I might just go to the Petoskey show to take that
Just-
picture.
Just to see that.
It's a beautiful,
we will
it's a
have-
beautiful crown.
I'll have to figure out, how do we get that on the front page of the website? All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
It's a surprise, Kathy. No, thank you.
I'm full of surprises.
It's our 17th annual, so I've put 15 years in volunteering on it. One year I broke my leg, so I didn't show up.
That was one of those near-death experiences.
Yeah, one of those, yes. You're
All right.
Well, now wait. And just what a wonderful feeling. It's summer outside. We're almost done and it's only 7:30. Whoop, whoop. Anyway,
That's right. You just crossed this 22 seconds.
I do the minutes, so I'm not putting that in there.
All right.
but-
So, anything else?
No.
All right. Planning Commission, I basically brought you up to date on that. They're in that process. Citizens should monitor the website because that's where the meetings, the special meetings are going to be noticed. And if you have thoughts or interest in expressing opinions, you need to attend those public meetings. Finally, I received a notification that Barbara Boudreaux wants to resign her commissioner's position on the Planning Commission effective May 15th, 2023. I've accepted that resignation. And I want to thank Barbara for her service to the community for over 2.5 years on the Planning Commission. And with that, board, I have nothing else. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion to adjourn at 7:32.
I will second it. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Meeting's adjourned.
Whoop, whoop.